So look, right now we're in the middle of this negotiating the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. Joe Manchin says absolutely not, no way. Kirsten Sinema, absolutely not, no way. Oh, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. We don't have the money for it. And so there was a drafted plan that had been leaked that says, oh, well, that's okay. We're going to cover $2.9 trillion of it by rolling back some of Donald Trump's tax cuts for the rich. So now, all right. So the thing about that is that leaked, usually when something like that comes out, it's because somebody wanted it to come out. And already after the so-called leak, Democrats, yes, did come out and say, yes, this is part of our plan to try to raise enough money to allay the concerns of people like Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. Now, the issue, of course, with that, and maybe I'll save that commentary until after I give you some of the details here. So now, as I said, they want to increase taxes to corporations. All right, now we're talking. Hey, right now, corporate tax rate is 21%, thanks to Donald Trump. So what would they raise it to? Well, if you read the Washington Post, if you're reading the New York Times, the most significant tax hikes on the rich and corporations in decades. Oh my God, look at that. They're raising taxes on the rich. Significant, huge. They're considering raising it to 26.5%. So 5.5%, essentially. That's it. And I say that's it because under Obama, it was 35%. So so you're not even going to raise it to where it was under Obama. Come on. And again, if you read mainstream media, and look, again, I'm in favor of tax hikes for corporations and the wealthy. Obviously, they have to pay their fair share. In fact, tons of companies have paid nothing in taxes. And so, yes, we do need to take that money from these companies so that they can pay their fair share of taxes, so these companies don't get so large and so powerful and have so much influence on politics. That's why we need to tax the rich. That's why we need to tax these multinational corporations. But 26.5%, no, that's not nearly enough. And going back to what I was saying about, will this be effective at getting the deficit hawks, people like Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, to go and agree with it? No, because it's not about, understand that this is not about the debt. This is not about pay for his debts and deficits. No. Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are against the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill and want to pare it down because they don't like what's in it. They don't like the focus on human infrastructure, for one, because it, God forbid, actually helps their constituents. And number two, if you're going to pair this with corporate tax hikes, well, who do you think funds Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema? Corporations, their donors. They're going to get rather upset at this entire thing. And look, again, I've talked about how Joe Manchin has gone into meetings with, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and gets all this money from his own corporate investments. And so anything that touches his income, those investments, and the donors, and the campaign contributions going to Joe Manchin, sorry, it's not going to fly. This will do nothing. But what it will do, and this is my thought process on this, okay? So what I think this will do, obviously, the media is already getting people primed for, oh my God, look at this gigantic tax increase on corporations and the wealthy. That's kind of going to derail the movement of what progressives are asking for, which is a far higher and more robust corporate tax rate. Look, the Democrats are trying. They're trying. And then when it gets shut down, Well, I mean, that's a different story, I guess. I don't. Yeah. Again, I think it would be great if we actually did raise taxes on corporations, but I don't think that this is going to move anybody. It's not enough for progressives. We'll take it, but it's not enough for us, and it certainly isn't going to change the minds of Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. And it's because, once again, they work for their donors. They're still going to, by the way, they're still likely going to, and this is part of the song and dance, we will get an infrastructure bill, but it won't be $3.5 trillion. It's going to be lower. They'll go lower still, and then use this as a, well, we could have gone lower, but we managed to raise taxes just a little bit, possibly. Again, I don't know what kind of pressure is being levied on Joe Manchin right now and Kirsten Sinema, but I don't think, I really don't think any of this is going to go through without massive reductions in the size of the bill, and mainly, like, okay, so it could pass, but with a lot of the climate stuff stripped out. That's the only situation that I could see Joe Manchin being in favor and actually grudgingly allowing this bill to go through. And of course, they'll claim, oh, it's a little bit less expensive, so that's why I allowed it through. But in reality, they're going to try to strip out as many of the climate provisions as possible and then say, well, it was the increased tax rate, which a lot of companies really don't pay at this point anyway. And so there, and there'll always be write-offs and things like that and loopholes for these companies to go through. So they might actually accept a higher tax rate if they strip out the climate provision. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.